Bismillahir Rahman Rahim and Assalamu Alaikum. Today we are going to discuss another short story from Pakistani literature. It is written by Tariq Rahman and the title of this short story is The Zoo. The lead character of this short story is Hashmat Ali. Now he is from a certain village. He comes to the big city of Lahore to find work. In the start, he works at the railway station to carry the luggage for people from train to outside the train station and to and from movement. Afterwards, he finds a good job, a respectable job in a sort, and he finds a work of a gardener in one of the houses in Lahore. When he starts working in that house as a gardener, he thinks of bringing his family from the village. He has wife Fatima and 2 kids. In the start, he struggles a lot to find a house for a rent, but then later on he gets a house for a rent, which is not basically a house, which is the upper portion of or a sort of room where there is no light, there is no fresh air, and even the sunlight does not reach inside. And as I told you, the electricity is not there as well. When his family arrives in this big city of Lahore, they find it difficult. The house they are about to live in is extremely difficult to live in because of lack of electricity, because of lack of sunlight and all such things. He even inquires the person who is giving them the house on rent about the electricity and about the study of the kids without electricity. So he tells them that they can study in the daylight. But in a nutshell, the life for them is very difficult. Now, when they start getting bored from this day-to-day life in that caged sort of house, so he takes his family, means his wife and his kids, to nearby zoo in Lahore, which is in the construction phase, and there are some animals as well. He takes them, and the visit in this short story, or the visit for this family, changes the course of thinking of this short story. Because the kids and the family, Fatima, they watch animals having big houses, big places to live in, having abundance of food, every kind of food, greenery, lush environment, fresh air. So they started comparing themselves with the animal, and they think that animals are like more humane or having more luxury of life than themselves, because they have no luxury, because they have no basic necessity of life. They don't have the facility of life, while the animals have all the facilities. In the meanwhile, we also get to know that this zoo was constructed with the funds from a foreign country. So they sponsor this zoo, and then the zoo is erected and built and established in that city of Lahore, where animals have the luxury of life. They have food, they have shelter, and they have every facility which a human being can think of. And for this construction, the person who manages this zoo is awarded by the governor as well. The important thing to note is that while constructing this zoo, a lot of mishandling is done in the funds, and the authorities who are in charge for this zoo, they take out the funds and they use for their own benefits. So coming back to the plot, the family of Hashmat, they think that they are very degraded in the society. The lower people, the people who belong to the lower ranks or the lower class, they have no right to live. Why? Because even the animals have the right to live, but they don't have the right to live. And on this note, the story ends that the kids of Hashmat, they start inculcating this idea into the mind that being poor have no life. They are poor, so they do not have any life, while the animals have a good life as well. Now this story, coming towards the analysis part, this story highlights the grim issue of class differences in Pakistani society. How this class distinction is creating problems for people living in Pakistani society. There are the people who belong to the upper class, and then there are the people who belong to the lower class. The upper class has all the luxuries of life. They have the capitalism. They have the they have the capital to enjoy the life, to spend the life, and to do whatever they want. On the other hand, the lower class, the working class, the labor class, they have nothing to enjoy. They have nothing to live for, because they are constrained, and they are they are living in such an environment where they cannot even breathe. This is the difference, and this difference is creating a lot of problems in Pakistani society. The rate of corruption is on the higher side. Why? Because the upper class think that they have no check and balance. There is no one superior to them, so they can do whatever they want. They take the rights of the lower class, they exploit them, and this capitalism, or this capitalist society where the upper class and the upper class exploits the lower class, is going on with this society. There is no benefit for them. There is no life for the lower class. So this is the first grim issue that the writer wants to highlight, how life is difficult for the lower or the labor or the working class, and how life is luxurious for the upper class. They get awards, they get money, and they get everything what they want. At the same time, this short story highlights a new colonial view as well. Although colonial era has ended, there is no concept of colonial era, but there is a new colonial era in which the minds are not physically, the bodies or the human beings are not physically colonized, but they are mentally colonized. How? When the foreigners want to visit the zoo is established in such a way that it shows the grandeur. The animals are given everything to live with, and they are given every facility. So these people, the people who are the capitalists in Pakistani society, they do not give the basic rights and the basic aim of life to the lower class. Rather, they want to impress the foreign masters. They want to impress the previously era, the people who belong to the colonial era. Means they want to impress those colonial masters. They don't want to live on the same plan, on the same level with the lower class, where their wealth can benefit the lower class. Rather, they want to accumulate more and more wealth. And how can they earn more wealth? When they make the colonial masters happy. This is the second issue. The first issue we discussed was that the difference between the upper and the lower class, and the dilemma of the Pakistani society. Then the new colonial view of how the colonial masters are being made happy, and how for their impression of happiness, the lower class, the working class, is exploited. Then there is also another concept of this in this short story, where the difference between a village life and a city life is discussed. In village life, they have abundance of fresh air, abundance of food, abundance of people, and their warm behavior, and their sociable behaviors. While in the city, they have small houses, they have small hearts, and they have a behavior which is not sociable, where people do not take care of the others. While in village, they are more connected to one another, and they want a happy life. But in city life, they are not concerned. Like Hashmat, on one point, he asked about the study of his kids, and the person who is renting them the house, he replies that there is no need to study in the night. They can study in the daylight. This shows that that person is not well connected or well concerned about this working man Hashmat. So these are some of the points which I tried to highlight. There could be another dimension. There can be so many more dimensions to this short story. I tried to explain, but if there is any question left, there is anything that we have not discussed, you can put it in the comment box and I'll try to answer them. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.